After everything that went down on Raw, the atmosphere backstage was still shaking. Moments after the cameras stopped rolling, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso were seen regrouping in one of the dimly lit corridors, still recovering from the brutal ambush they had suffered at the hands of the Vision, Logan Paul, and the returning Brock Lesnar. The attack was sudden, violent, and designed to send a message. But what the Vision didn't expect was that Roman Reigns would step into the chaos and change the entire direction of the night. The attack had started moments after Punk, Cody, and Jey confronted Logan Paul about his continued disrespect of the locker room and his manipulative influence over Braun Breaker and the rest of the Vision. Logan smiled, stepped back, and that was the cue. Breaker and his enforcers stormed the scene, blindsiding all three men. The assault was relentless. Bodies crashed against crates, the concrete shook, and security struggled to keep the situation under control. It was clear the Vision wanted to take out every threat ahead of Survivor Series. But the biggest shock came when Brock Lesnar entered the hallway. The entire arena went silent as if the air was ripped out of the building. Brock stepped in like a force of nature, eyes locked on Cody Rhodes, grinning with that dangerous intensity only he has. Without warning, he joined the assault, grabbing Punk by the neck and throwing him into a steel shutter, striking fear into everyone around. Yet even with all that destruction, even with Logan Paul ordering his men around like a general at war, the momentum shifted the second Roman Reigns appeared. No music, no warning, no spotlight, just the tribal chief stepping out of the shadows with that calm, deadly expression. He didn't run, he didn't yell, he just walked straight toward the chaos with a purpose. And for the first time all night, the Vision hesitated. Brock Lesnar's smirk dropped, Logan Paul's confidence cracked, Braun Breaker looked unsure. Roman entered the scene, and everything changed. Roman launched himself into the fight, hitting Breaker, throwing Logan against the wall, and stepping face to face with Brock Lesnar in a moment that created a shockwave across the wrestling world. Brock backed up, not out of fear, but out of recognition. A silent message passed between them: this wasn't the time. The Vision quickly retreated, dragging their wounded egos with them. Brock turned away without a word, leaving the ambush unfinished, their message undone. As the attackers disappeared down the corridor, Roman stood alone in the center of the wreckage, breathing heavily but still composed. And behind him, Punk, Cody, and Jey slowly began to rise, bruised, shaken, but alive because Roman Reigns made that choice. Backstage officials rushed in, checking everyone's condition, but the three men didn't care about the medical attention. Their eyes were fixed on Roman. Not as an enemy, not as competition, but as the man who saved them when the war got ugly. Later that night, after officials had cleared the area, the cameras caught Punk, Cody, and Jey walking into Roman's private room. The energy was different, respect hung thick in the air. Jey was the first one who stepped forward, and even though their history is complicated, even though the bloodline had gone through years of betrayal and forgiveness, he looked at Roman with genuine gratitude. He didn't need to say much, his expression said everything. The tribal chief nodded back with the same silent understanding. Cody Rhodes, still holding his ribs, stood in front of Roman with a look of disbelief. A year ago, these two were enemies at the highest level. But tonight, Roman didn't let him fall. Cody, humbled from the attack, acknowledged Roman in a way that felt real, as a leader, as a protector, and as someone who cared about the bigger picture. CM Punk stepped in too, wiping blood from his forehead. Punk had never been one to show weakness, but he didn't hide his appreciation. He simply looked Roman in the eyes, the two veterans locking into a stare filled with mutual respect. Punk knew exactly what Roman stopped tonight. He stopped the Vision's takeover, he stopped Brock Lesnar's destruction, and he stopped something far more dangerous: chaos spreading out of control. All three men thanked Roman not with speeches, not with dramatic gestures, but with the kind of acknowledgement that only warriors give to another warrior who steps into the fire without hesitation. Roman didn't take credit, he didn't demand loyalty. He didn't make it about the bloodline or his own legacy. He simply stood there with the presence of a man who knew he did what needed to be done. Word spread quickly throughout the backstage area. Roman Reigns didn't just save Punk, Cody, and Jey. He sent a message to Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, and every member of the Vision. He made it clear that if they think they can run Raw, if they think they can injure people and take over the show by intimidation, then they have another storm coming, one far bigger than anything they planned. The cameras closed out with the four men standing together, not as a faction, not as allies, but as a temporary united front against a threat that had gone too far. Punk, Cody, and Jey walked out with a renewed sense of strength, knowing that Roman Reigns had their backs when it mattered most. And Roman, he remained behind, staring into the distance, fully aware that the war with the Vision was far from over, and he had just declared himself a part of it. Survivor Series was already chaos. But after tonight, everything has changed.